Before I start, I do apologise about the birds having a little tweet in the background. They're on a bit of a mad half an hour. I think it's 12 o'clock now, so they have their like midday nap and then they wake up and they go crazy. I just wanted to hop on and just let everyone know how I'm doing, because I have posted on my social media that I've gone through a little bit of a rough patch with tinnitus recently. This is something I was quite hesitant about talking to you guys about on here, because I can feel like sometimes that I have a big role to play in what it's like to live with tinnitus. And if I'm saying the raw truth about it, it's not always easy, okay? And obviously you all know that, but when I feel like you look at me, you feel like I am the definition of habituation, essentially. And I thought I kind of was. And that was up until a few months ago, where I started to get kind of thoughts of, am I kind of going backwards a huge step here? Because a lot of you know that at university I really struggled with tinnitus immensely. And it got to the point where I wasn't leaving the house, I wasn't socialising as much, and I just wasn't me. And I feel like these past few months, I may or may not have took on a few of those traits again. But I'm now at kind of the point where I can talk about it, because I am coming out the other side, which is great. Spikes happen, and everyone knows that spikes happen with tinnitus. I think that's one of the first things you kind of learn when you're dealing with it. Spikes happen when you've had tinnitus for so long and you feel like you've habituated. It can feel like such a setback and that you've failed. And I talk about this all the time, so you probably would think, oh, why isn't she kind of taking her own advice? Like, I know all of this, and I work in the environment where I'm telling other people this, but sometimes, you know, it gets to me. Especially when I'm having these louder days, and then I can't put a finger on why I can't let it settle, because I've got hearing aids. I know how to practice CBT, and I found what works for me. But you know, recently tinnitus has got to me, and I think that's completely valid. It's normal, it's natural, and I know that. I've known that. But recently, it's just been harder for me to kind of get that in my head. Because it has been impacting my day-to-day a hell of a lot more than it used to when I, you know, usually talk about tinnitus. I think you can obviously kind of see on my social media the reflection of me being a little bit more absent. That's kind of how I felt in my day-to-day. And I've not been sleeping well. I've not been looking after myself as much as I probably should have as well. But, you know, I don't just think that's tinnitus. I think that's probably because I've got quite a little bit of burnout going on as well. And I think not posting on here, it gets me down as well, because I just want to talk to you all about how I'm doing. But sometimes I can't quite put it into words. But today I'm going to try to, and I'm going to tell you how I'm doing now, because I feel like just about on the other side of this bad blip with tinnitus. But I just want you to know that if you're going through this right now, it's completely normal. You know, it's valid for you to have these feelings. If you didn't have this kind of blip in your tinnitus journey, that's great, but also, you know, you're human and these things happen. Essentially, tinnitus is your body listening in on itself. It's usually to do with hearing loss, not all the time. There's so many different causes for tinnitus, but it's usually your brain isn't getting that external stimulation it needs, so it starts making this phantom sound to compensate for what you're missing out on. That is, in my case, the facts, and I've got hearing loss that I didn't realise I had until a few years ago, and then I got set up with hearing aids, which really, really helped me. And I think having hearing aids is one of the reasons why, you know, I was able to habituate to my fullest, but it's also one of the reasons why I have took a kind of huge step back in my tinnitus journey, because just when you think you've hit the jackpot with everything you need in your tinnitus toolkit, CBT being one of them, and then physical things like hearing aids itself, you know, like if you're building something like a flat pack piece of furniture and you've got everything you need in there to build the product itself, but somehow it doesn't turn out how it needs to be, and then you can't actually buy these individual things separately to make it how it should be, and it's just a bit of a mess. I feel like that's how I am, well, how I kind of was recently with having all of these tools, but not being able to be the fullest version of myself. And I was wondering why, because there's no excuse. I've got everything I need. I've got the instructions, which is all the knowledge I know about tinnitus. I know pretty much everything under the sun about it. And then I've got all the tools I need. Why am I not feeling how I should be feeling? And I think that's been one of the hardest things to kind of accept, and it's been a new thing on my journey. These past couple of days, okay, so it's not all doom and gloom. It's probably been, I feel like I've been journaling recently, and I've been writing down kind of my thoughts and kind of assessing what has been going on. And I feel like it's been the past year I've kind of felt like this. So, you know, I kind of stopped posting on social media as much as I probably should have. Not that I put a huge amount of pressure on myself with that, but because I genuinely enjoy it. Like, talking to you guys is my hobby. I feel like it's my purpose. And then I realised I kind of stopped posting a year ago as much as I usually would have, because that's when I'm the happiest version of myself, when I'm doing this kind of thing. But then, you know, I've kind of looked back and realised I've not socialised as much as I probably should have. And, you know, I'm lacking these things that make people feel good as a human being. But, you know, it all is so easy to put the blame on tinnitus. But I think it is also, like I said, the kind of burnout of moving into a new place, starting a full-time job, being away from my family and only seeing them like every other week. I miss them huge amounts, and it has been a huge lifestyle change. But I love living here and I love my job, and everything's brilliant, but it's been huge at kind of a massive learning curve alongside learning to live alongside tinnitus. And you're probably thinking, well, you've learnt to live alongside it. You've had it your whole life. And, you know, you went through that bad stage at university and now you're back on the outside. And you said that you're habituated. And I feel like, yes, I was habituated. But these days I'm having that kind of point when it's a roller coaster journey. I was at the top, I was feeling great. And I've just slumped back down a little bit. And that's fine. But it has been difficult to kind of comprehend in my own mind of what is going on, and it's been hard to put into words to share with you all with how this has impacted me and how to kind of bounce back from it. I'm so sorry about that. You know, my birds have genuinely been one of the things that have kept me going. They give me a routine, they rely on me, so, you know, I love kind of looking after them. And yeah, I don't know, if any of you have pets, you'll understand how much joy they bring and how much kind of routine day to day they give to you as well. There's just something about little creatures relying on you that makes you feel really, really good, and you want to be the best version of yourself for them, which is, yeah, really, really sweet. But I bought them a new toy recently, so they're having a great time with that. So where am I now on my journey? Well, I'm at the point where the last 2 days, today I'm a little bit iffy, but the last 2 days I have felt brilliant. Like, I haven't felt that good in so long. And I think it comes down to a few things, to be honest with you. I've been connecting with people that I, have wanted to connect with for a while. I've been meeting up with people face to face, not in a work environment, but in a social kind of friendly environment. And I think, I talk to people all the time, but it's very much down to tinnitus. And usually I don't really think about tinnitus when I'm talking about tinnitus, my own anyway. I think unconsciously it does kind of get to me. So having this kind of like separate, obviously, social life and work-life balance has been brilliant for me, and it's made me feel so much better in the long run. And also I've been journaling. So I've got a little journal that I bought. I had like an absolute obsession with this journal kind of company called Louise Carmen Notebooks. They're like 200 quid. So I was like, I can't do that. So I got a cute little journal, and I've just been kind of journaling on my breaks at work and just day to day, how I'm kind of feeling, just to give myself a bit of control in my life. And I've got control, I know that. I think it's kind of just proving to myself that I am in control of my feelings, and, everything I kind of write down, it just gets everything out my head. So if you got a piece of paper right now and you wrote down everything that was on your mind, you'd be like, oh my God, how am I kind of carrying all of this? Because there is so much going on. And I think that's exactly where I've been. I think the more I've got in my head, the worse my tinnitus is, because I'm trying to juggle, oh my God, don't forget this, don't forget that. And I'm a very forgetful person in general when it comes to getting things done for myself and for work. I take on a lot. I'm the type of person that says yes to everything, and I don't think that helps with my stress levels at all. Journaling has genuinely really, really helped me, and journaling's something that I've always wanted to stick to, and it's difficult to stick to journaling simply because it's, you know, well, for me, I'm a perfectionist, like a complete perfectionist, and if the first page doesn't look good, I'll just be like, nah, don't want to do it. But journaling genuinely has really, really helped me recently, and I think if you're in a stage where you don't know what to do with your spikes, start journaling, because it will give you that little bit of sense of control and you'll understand your feelings a hell of a lot better. I've also been decorating the house, so I feel like sorting out your space and just making everything look pretty kind of sorts out your mind as well. So like if you have a clean kind of room and a clean space, your mind feels a little bit more cleaner. But you know, I love it. I love how it's looking. I feel like I'm in a jungle, which has been my dream, you know, having a little jungle vibe house. The birds certainly add to that. Today, you know, come along with me to see what I get up to and how I'm kind of trying to bounce back from this spike that I've had and this kind of mental blip that I've had, because, you know, although I come across as the idealised version of tinnitus habituation on some of my videos, you know, I do, like most of the time, I used to have really good days, but this past year I think it's been more bad days than good with the tinnitus. So I just want to kind of give you hope for how to bounce back, also give you kind of an insight to how life is with tinnitus and how it's, you know, it's normal to feel like this. It doesn't always, you know, be an upward climb. It is something that is up and down. And I feel like I was at the up and now I'm having a moment, but just follow me on the journey of getting back and feeling better, because I know a lot of you will be going through that as well, especially if you're watching this video right now. So yeah, if you're having a day where you're not feeling so great, come along with me and we'll get through this together, okay? What are you doing, Randall? Also, I was talking to one of my lovely, lovely friends, Emma, the other day for the first time. We actually had a live call for once, but she actually was a follower of mine, and she has tinnitus as well, and she is absolutely amazing. But we were talking about burnout, and how burnout is, you know, something that happens to all of us, but with tinnitus, it's just that little bit kind of more intense. So with most typical people, burnout is something where you've just been doing so much, it's got on top of you mentally, physically, but with tinnitus, you know, burnout manifests itself in a much more intense way. So, you know, tiredness is so huge when it comes to tinnitus for me, and I can just get so sleepy, and with the added stress of kind of like work and things on my mind, it can just make me feel like sick kind of thing. And not like sick as in I'm gonna throw up, but like just mentally not well at all. Tiredness, fatigue, that is just something that manifests itself from that initial catalyst of whatever it may be, like workload or things that you've put on yourself that you know you shouldn't have took on so much. Then tinnitus will just ramp up as a sign kind of to let you know that you shouldn't kind of be doing all of this. It's like a warning sign for your body in a way. I think tinnitus burnout is a thing, and I haven't really spoke about it too much. I guess I can speak about spikes, and spikes are a huge thing when it comes to tinnitus, but spikes are kind of a product of burnout with people with tinnitus, absolutely. But no, that's definitely what I've been through recently. Dave saw me at my worst, and then you saw me at my best. Mm-hmm. And I feel like these past kind of few months, I've probably not been my best, have I?
I think it's just the stress, to be honest. I think you're under a lot of stress, obviously, with work as much as you do.
I say yes to too much.
Yeah.
That's my issue.
And then also, we don't have the best sleep schedule, trying to fit everything in after work, trying to make the most of a day after we finish work. And then, so, you know, we've got it was a big change, wasn't it? You know, us moving out and getting our own place.
Yeah, I have said that. I've said that.
It's like there's a lot of stress that comes along with that.
It's burnout, and you obviously experience burnout as well. But I feel like as people with tinnitus, it's just another level, another layer. That's what Emma said to me. It's another layer on top of what normal people deal with.
Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
Essentially, it's like Like, imagine how stressed you would be, like, with everything that's like gone on, like, and then having tinnitus,
massive
on
ringing
top.
in my ears. Because I mean, I have noticed recently that is a lot more prominent. You saying like it's really loud, my tinnitus is really loud, it's ringing really badly today. Like it has been it's definitely been a challenging few months with your spikes for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the thing is, essentially, it's normal, and I think the worst kind of thing for me is that I've seen how good it is on that other side of habituation, and obviously it's not something that you click your fingers and, oh my god, like, I'm habituated. It's nothing like that at all. It's just the fact that I think being at a level where I've probably not been my very best, I've kind of like noticed that, yeah, it's a huge contrast. And why have I fallen back, kind of thing. So I think it's very, very easy for people to kind of think, why have I fallen back? But yeah, you've definitely seen it on a kind of third person kind of point of view.
I feel like you might also be like unconsciously worrying about the fact of like, is it getting worse because I'm getting older? Like, is this going to be the normal level of tinnitus?
I think that's something that I dealt with in my kind of early days of tinnitus. Like, oh, is it going to get worse? And so many people ask me at work, oh, is tinnitus going to get worse? Is my hearing loss going to get worse? Well, I can't even guarantee that I'm going to step out of work today and not get hit by a bus. Like, you genuinely
we hope not, don't we?
No, exactly. But you don't know what's going to happen. Like, I could win the lottery tomorrow, kind of thing. So, it could be good things, it could be bad things. Like, could your hearing get better? Possibly, but we don't know. We can't say that. But it's the same with tinnitus. Like, I used to like kind of mourn the fact that, oh my gosh, like I'm never ever going to hear silence. But then again, I've never heard it anyway, which is something I feel like I've got past from, and I'm always getting past these little thoughts. But I feel like it's not really a thought this time. I feel like it's more how I'm feeling, and it's blaming tinnitus.
At this point, I rarely hear silence because we got so used to sleeping at night with a fan on that now I can't sleep without it. So it's like I need a constant noise as well.
Fans are great. If you don't have a fan, get yourself a fan, because it's changed my life, and I will never ever sleep without a fan. So
let's get going soon.
Yeah, let's go. We're going to pick up a
chair.
I saw on Argos that there was a chair, like an ergonomic chair for the.
Show mine.
I'll show them yours.
This is my chair. This is my ergonomic chair. I bought this after years of using a gaming chair, which, by the way, really bad for your back.
Okay, I'm getting a chair.
This chair.
Chair.
One like this.
Dave just had a good old chat. He could talk about his chair for a while.
Lumbar support.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like getting a good chair and like just...
It'll change your life.
It's going to change my life, because I really started to get into the journaling, and I want to continue journaling, and I want to continue doing things that... I love writing things and putting things down on paper, especially like doodling, and that really, really helps me.
And it would be really nice for her to be able to do work and not be like this on the sofa.
Like, me and Dave have both been kind of organising the house a little bit more, and I feel like the one thing that's not organised is the games room, and I don't really want to show you the situation of my desk. Actually, I will. Fuck it.
Mine looks lovely.
We're being real today. My desk, okay, lovely stuff. Dave's desk is lovely and clean, but I've not been able to sit on here because obviously it's a mess. But
yeah, just a bit.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't have a chair. I've been using a camping chair at the moment. I've been using that since we moved in. I think it's time we need to get a chair. So let's go and get a chair.
Show myself. It's my sim rig. I bought this. My Hot Wheels.
Oh my god.
Gengars. Hats.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Just a little day in the life. I mean, it is 2:00 now, apparently. But yeah, so we're just gonna. I think getting out the house is good, no matter where you're going. And today we're going to Argos, and I think Argos is a rarity in the UK. So yeah, this is actually a standalone Argos where I live, which is brilliant.
Chair.
Huh?
We didn't vlog any of
We didn't vlog picking up the chair. It wasn't very eventful, to be honest with you. That's a big bag of apples. I tell you what, that's not a bad shout for work. Look at that. So Dave is in the progress of building my chair.
I am indeed.
Do you want the chair now instead of your one?
It is quite nice, but I have to see what it's like afterwards.
We bought a little storage unit, so I'm going to do a nice little tidy up afterwards. But obviously the room is not big enough for two at this point. But I have hope that this is going to really inspire me to use my desk.
Why is this so confusing to me?
Like, wait, what? Girl, what? I feel like adulting is falling in love with buying groceries. But honestly, as a kid, I loved grocery shopping. Like,
Can't believe you did this in 25 minutes. That's like
What I do?
extremely impressive. That would have took me all day. Here comes Rambo. I haven't vlogged a huge amount of my day, so I do apologise. But this is usually my evening routine where we get the boys out. And they are so cute. So Randall is the purple one, the one that isn't as tame. And then this is Sullivan. This is the first bird I've ever got. So, I mean, not ever got. I've had 3 budgies in the past, but these 2 are just amazing. So look at Randall. He is the most goofiest guy in the world. But they are just so joyous to have. They're just hilarious. But look at him. He's so confused because he can see himself. But I'll probably end kind of today's little vlog because I have been talking quite a little bit at the start of the video. But I just wanted to give you kind of an insight of what's been going on. But I definitely do want to start kind of establishing better routines for myself anyway, because tinnitus has made me quite tired recently, so I have been kind of sleeping a little bit more than usual. So I'm going to keep you updated, and I'm going to put you guys obviously in the routine because talking about it does really help me. So also, do you want to see Sullivan Spin? Let me show you. Hold on. Spin, spin. Good job, Sullivan. Spin. Good job, boy. Do you want your ball? You gonna play with your ball? Go on then. Their ball is broken because they drop it from this height every single day. So you'll see what they do. And that's how balls get broken, isn't it, Sullivan? Anyway, it was an absolute pleasure to hop back on here. And I hope you're all doing okay. If you've not been feeling so great, you know, I'm always here. I'm always here for a chat, and you're never alone with this, okay? It's very easy to feel alone, but I promise you, you're not alone, and there are always up and down days, but it does get easier. It does get easier, and you learn so much on this journey with tinnitus. So keep going, keep having hope, and I will see you next time.